Ratan Tata made a huge mistake. That's what people talked about in 2008 when he acquired JLR, and that too for $2.3 billion. उस टाइम पे oil prices भी बढ़ गए, and that was a sign of stress for auto companies. Moody's and S&P ने Tata Motors को downgrade भी किया. Then that was followed by global financial crisis, and in the next 6 months Tata Motors के shares 30% से गिर गए. But did you know why in the first place Tata bought JLR? इसके ऊपर तो एक वेब सीरीज भी बन सकती है. हुआ ये कि टाटा ने इंडिका कार लॉन्च की थी इन 1998, पर उसमें बहुत सारी कंप्लेंट्स आने लगी, एंड ये मैटर इतना सीरियस हुआ कि टाटा थॉट ऑफ सेलिंग द एंटायर पैसेंजर व्हीकल बिजनेस. सो तभी दे वर नॉट इनटू पैसेंजर व्हीकल्स. इंडिका वाज द फर्स्ट सच मॉडल. सो इन 1999 Ratan Tata along with his team went to sell his car business to Ford. There, Ford sort of humiliated them by saying, "You don't know anything. Why did you start the passenger car division at all?" तभी Ratan Tata decided on his way back कि कुछ भी हो, Ford को तो नहीं बेचूंगा. And the clock turned a full circle after 9 years. Tata Motors was doing good, but JLR or Jaguar Land Rover was not. And you know who owned it? It was Ford. And at that point, Tata thought of taking this risky but calculated decision of buying JLR from Ford. But ये बदले की आग थोड़ी बुझ गई due to microeconomic factors around 2008. लेकिन पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त. Tata focused on 3 major aspects: improving liquidity, cost control and new products. JLR invested more in research, around 14% of revenues at that time when the average was 5%. JLR turned profitable within a year. सब सही जा रहा था और 3 चीजें आ गई. First, 2016 में Brexit अनाउंस हुआ and that created stress for JLR business. Second, cleaner fuels के पीछे सब भाग पड़े. After Volkswagen emission scandal, Europe made stricter rules for diesel vehicles. At that time, 90% of the cars ran on diesel in Europe, even the JLR. They started investing in cleaner fuel alternatives. Although that was beneficial in the long run, उस time पे it was impacting companies' profitability. Even they lost market share in China. ये सब मिलके in 2018 they wrote off assets worth rupees 27,000 crore rupees. By financial year 20, that is before COVID, this was company's financial position. Revenue of rupees 2.6 trillion, up by 12% CAGR from financial year 2009. Losses increased from rupees 25 billion in financial year 2009 to rupees 120 billion in financial year 2020. And the debt piling up from rupees 349 billion in financial year 2009 to rupees 1.2 trillion in financial year 2020. 2015 में Tata Motors की शेयर प्राइस rupees 600 क्रॉस हुई थी, but in 2019 fell below rupees 110. Then in 2020 COVID happened. April 2020 में its share price almost touched rupees 60. But since then, the journey has been all up and above. In 2024, Tata Motors shares have crossed rupees 1,000 mark. Today, 65% of its revenue comes from JLR, 14% from passenger vehicles and 20% from commercial vehicles. The management decided to demerge commercial vehicles or CV and passenger vehicles for PV business. Tata Motors is a leader in domestic CV space with 40% market share, while is the third largest player in PV segment with 14% market share. Commercial business काफी cyclical होता है, and passenger vehicle business is more growth oriented. As per ICICI Direct report calculations कहते हैं कि share price should be rupees 1,085 and that is around the current market price only. That's why we believe कि ये value unlocking event जैसा नहीं होगा. हमें लगता है कि टाटा मोटर्स का सीवी बिजनेस फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2026 में अराउंड 10,000 करोड़ रुपीस का ईबिटा बन सकता है. With a revenue of more than rupees 88,000 crore, that means EBITDA margin 11% तक जा सकता है. In financial year 2023, the margin was 7%. So based on our calculation, CV business can fetch the share price of anywhere between rupees 265 and rupees 320. एक बात शायद और भी बड़ी हो सकती है. जब वो अपना इलेक्ट्रिक पैसेंजर व्हीकल्स को भी डीमर्ज करके लिस्ट करें तो उसमें काफी वैल्यू अनलॉकिंग हमें देखने को मिल सकती है, बिकॉज राइट नाउ इट इज डोमिनेंट प्लेयर इन द इंडस्ट्री. एक बार टाटा मोटर्स के फाइनेंशियल्स पर नजर डालते हैं. एज पर ICICI डायरेक्ट रिसर्च रिपोर्ट, उनकी रेवेन्यू इन फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2023 was close to rupees 3.5 lakh crore और 3.5 trillion. EBITDA was around rupees 42,000 crore and net profit was more than rupees 2,000 crores. Its debt to equity ratio was at 2.4. Last 5 years में that from financial year 2018 to financial year 2023 revenue सिर्फ 3% CAGR से बढ़ा है. लेकिन नेक्स्ट 3 इयर्स में दैट इज बाय फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2026 वो 13 से 14% से बढ़ने की पॉसिबिलिटी रखता है. Then EBITDA has increased by 2% in the last 5 years but might grow by 22% in the next 3 years. With regard to profits, it turned from loss to profit-making company in the last 5 years. Which in itself is a great sign, and it is estimated that in the next 3 years the profits will jump sky high from rupees 2,000 crore to rupees 26,000 crores. The demerger is no doubt going to help the company and even the shareholders in the long run. But there are a couple of risks involved. One is JLR के margins अगर कम हुए तो क्या? And the other is the risk of generating lower than anticipated cash flow. If you liked the video, do share it with your friends and do not forget to subscribe to ICICI Direct.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risk. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.